And we are live. Hi, Mary. How are you?
Hi, I'm good, Brigetti. How are you? It's nice to be live. We haven't seen each other recently, so it's very nice to see each other again, isn't it, in person?
I know. I'm absolutely stoked. It's been, what, 2 weeks since we've been live together.
I
And
know.
time goes by so quickly. And the reason I wanted to go live is because I have just been given access to LinkedIn Live, which I didn't have before. So that's pretty exciting for me.
Very
Um,
exciting. If I had a horn, I would toot it for you. So I'm so excited for you. It's very exciting.
So I'm currently using Restream to go live with, and we are live right now. We're live on LinkedIn. We are live on my Facebook profile, I think.
Oh, cool.
Yes, and we are live on Twitter. Um, and I think we are live on Twitch. I'm not too sure. It
Mm.
was a little while before, I set this up and then we got chatting. So I think we are probably live on about 4 or 5 different platforms, which
Isn't
is
that
pretty
so cool?
exciting.
It's very exciting that you could be multi-diversital, you can be multi-dimensional. We're in different places at the same time. It's kind of cool, huh? We have superpowers.
Yes, absolutely. I'm totally loving this.
Yeah.
I had a great interview the other day with Roxanne on the Writers Corner live show, which is the one that we've been doing, and we're coming up for our 1 year anniversary, right?
I'm so excited. Yes, in July. So we are going to have our initial authors who are with us that started the show. They're going to be back that day, and we're so excited about having them on and just celebrating. I don't know, when we went into this, neither one of us really knew what we were getting into and how it would turn out, and it's kind of taken on a life of its own. We're booked up almost all the way through December into next year. So I mean, it's so exciting, and it's exciting to share author stories, their books, their journeys, what path did they choose for publishing, how long did it take them, what have they found that works, what have they found that does not work. And so it's really turned out great, and we've met so many fun, cool people. Everybody's been so nice, and just it's been great all the way around. So it was a good decision that we made to just kind of jump in there and try something that we had never done before. And we just did it. We just went with it. We weren't really sure how it was going to turn out, and it's turned out great.
Yes, it has. I've enjoyed the journey, and as you said, we've met so many amazing authors from around the world and hearing their stories, their journeys as authors. And um, I think, I'd like to think that aspiring authors would appreciate this kind of information because if you've never written a book, we talk about this often. We've all got a book in us, but not
Mhm.
everyone takes pen to paper. And sometimes it's an idea that people toy with and they're not really sure how to take it forward. And so it's always great to interview these various authors because they tell us how they got published, what their
Right.
journey was like. Now, Roxanne, last week, for example, she's a young author, and her first book, I think she released, was self-published when she was about 16.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she's very young and she self-published at that age. She did it at the encouragement of her grandmother, got encouraged her to write her story.
Right. I
And
remember seeing that now. Yes, because I missed the interview. I'm sorry, but yes, I do remember that part of that. Yes.
and she was highlighting, how it's not exactly easy to self-publish. There are pros and cons to self-publishing, but the point is she got published at a young age.
Mm-hmm.
Now with the second book, she's gone to a traditional publisher,
Right.
and that's fantastic. I mean, you're an author yourself. Maybe you can just tell everyone about your book very quickly.
Yeah, okay, so I have the Perfectly Precious Poolicious and Poolicious Look at Me series. The third one will be coming out probably in about 10 plus weeks. I'm really super excited about it because it's my son inspired it. So it starts from like baby and then goes to toddler. And then this next one will be more like 4, 5, 6, 7 year olds. So we're kind of, it took us a little while to kind of grow him up in the actual picture to see what does he look like, and you know, is that comfortable for us the way he looks? Do we like it? You know, because sometimes you see things in your head that come out differently on paper. And when you are a creative person, you're a writer, an artist, when it comes to fruition on paper, you sometimes it looks a little different than you thought. Sometimes you kind of have to get used to that, like how it's a little different than you thought, or it might turn out exactly like you want. So yeah, both of those books, my first two books were published in 2017, and they are available at blackrosewriting.com, Amazon, and Kindle, and Barnes & Noble online, and Walmart online. Um, and if you go to my website, maryejackson.com, that will take you to the books where you can buy them. And, you know, it is a journey. It requires a lot of patience and endurance and tenacity, you know, and persistence. You can't give up on it when you have rejections at first, because, you know, most everybody, when they're sending out their queries or their pitch letters, finding a publisher, you're rejected. Somebody's always you're rejected somewhere. You know, even J.K. Rowling of our wonderful Harry Potter series was rejected a bazillion times before a smaller publishing house took a chance on her. And then look what happened, you know? So if it's something you want to do, you first, like Brigetti said, you have to get it out of your head and onto paper. And my co-writer and friend, our friend Brigetti and I, Thornton Klein, we have a class we teach about that, getting it out of your head and onto paper. And we are also, I haven't told you this yet, but in July, he and I are teaching an illustrator writer, a young illustrator writer camp for a week. The second to last week of July, we're gonna have a camp for kids, teaching illustrations and writing. So we're excited about that.
That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. And then this Tuesday we've got who have we got on the show this Tuesday? Catriona?
Yeah, Catriona, yes, and she has a literary agent, doesn't she? I think.
Yes, she does. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So we're excited about having her on. Her agent reached out to us and asked if she could be on our show, and we're very excited to have her on. She's been waiting a little while because we are kind of backed up, and it's so fun to meet new people, isn't it? It's just a lot of fun, and they all have really unique stories. Nobody's story is the same. How they got there,
No.
what inspired them. Just like your interview last week, you know, her grandmother inspired her, and she was self-published at 16. Not everybody does that. That's a great
Yeah.
story. Yeah.
Absolutely is. Every single journey is different, you know. Um, and just to put this out there, a lot of people often say, "Why should I start live streaming?" Well,
Mm,
you should start live streaming and use live streaming as part of your marketing strategy, because everyone's story is different. No two people are alike, and you will find people that will resonate with your story.
right.
And
And
I
you know,
guess that's yeah.
no, go ahead. And that's what.
And that's why you shouldn't hold off from getting into live streaming, because you may think, well, there's 1,000 other people who offers the same product services that I do. It really doesn't matter. People are going to be attracted to who you are and what you offer. People are going to be attracted to your personality. People are going to resonate to your values and principles and to your particular story.
Well, and also people like when you're transparent, and I think people can tell even on camera for live streaming whether a person is, you know, a good person or somebody you can trust, or they're speaking their truth is more of what I'm
Mm.
going for. You know, you can kind of tell that I think when you see somebody on camera. Not always, but you know,
Oh,
we don't.
absolutely. I'm a firm believer in that.
Mm-hmm. And so you have a show coming up this Sunday, don't you?
Yes, I've got a show coming up on Sunday. It's going to be the Water Hour. It's going to be an interesting show, and I'm really looking forward to it because the reason I'm looking forward to this one is, as you know about the water crisis, I've been live streaming about the water crisis for about 2 years now.
Yeah, it's very,
Um,
you're very passionate about it, and it's very important to you. Yes.
but like with a lot of other stuff in the news, there's always disinformation. And
Mm.
so I'm going to be interviewing the CEO of Water Shortage South Africa, Benoit Leroy, and he's got over 40 years experience in the water industry. And he's going to dispel some of, well, the idea is to put the facts out there because facts are important.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely. Because there is a lot of untruth in the news, and you're right. So, that's important to, because I mean, anybody can take a spin on what's happening in a country or your city or town and just kind of whoosh, go off with it. It's sort of like one of those chains where, the person in the front tells the next person, and then they have to repeat it. So by the time it's down here at this end, it's totally different than what it began as. You
mm,
know.
yeah.
So
And,
that's
to me, the water sector is being able to live stream about the water sector is a huge passion project, but it's such an important sector. Now, we have a challenge in our country with energy, for example, as well. And yes, energy is important. Who doesn't want the lights on? But
right.
the water sector, people don't often link the intersection of water, energy, and food. And you really can't separate those three sectors because they are totally intertwined. They're interdependent on each other. But
Right.
really, as humans, a basic human need is water. We cannot sustain ourselves without water. Everything we do, everything to sustain life is around water. And therefore, it's important that we share the truth with people, that we factual about what the issues really are. And that's why I'm looking forward to the broadcast on Sunday.
Well, and people don't die of starvation, they die of dehydration. So that's something I've had to kind of become aware of very much lately. But it's interesting when you think about that, because I think a lot of people think people can die of starvation, and they can in the sense, but it's more dehydration they die of than. So water is so. I mean, our body's made up of a lot of fluid, so we need it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. I really wanted to do this as a very quick um, test broadcast because I've not gone live yet doing
Mm,
it the way that we've just done now.
absolutely.
And looking forward to doing some more of this in future. So a huge big thank you to you.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm so glad to be a part of this with you, and um, I can't wait for what comes next, because there's a lot of things to talk about, aren't isn't there? We're going to do, I guess, Monday. We're thinking about doing a show that is kind of close to both of our hearts. Talking about the things that are good in the world, doing good, doing right in the world, right?
I know it's been we've talked about this a lot as well. There is so much bad news around us, and there's not a lack of people wanting to share all that garbage. But we'd like to focus on good news stories. Um, we need
Absolutely.
to do more of that, share some more positivity around us.
Absolutely. So we want to be a part of that, don't we? We're going to jump on that bandwagon as well as the other bandwagons we're on.
Absolutely. Anyway, thank you to anyone who has watched the broadcast. Much appreciated. And have a great weekend, everyone. Mary, have a good
Yes,
one.
thank you. Yes, you too. See you soon. Bye.
Awesome. Bye.